Hi guys, my favorite too, and this is trending topics that affected the narrative and what urban culture make us a conversation. Hi guys, my favorite too, as we discuss trending topics that affect and pushes the narrative and urban culture make us a conversation.
Hey, good evening. Welcome. Another great episode prepared for the night. Another episode prepared for the night of trending topics. And tonight, Tanya and myself, we will discuss something that over the last probably 10, 20 years, it has always been something talked about. Um, a lot of discussion, a lot of HR gets put into place because of things that can go wrong. And we're just going to have a short discussion on workplace romance, the fallout from TJ Holmes and Amy Robach situation. What's going on, Tanya?
Not much.
How's
Calm,
everything going?
wonderful, quiet night.
Okay. Nice cool air outside, right?
Yes.
Right. So Amy Robach and TJ Holmes allegedly they're both married, but they were both separated or waiting on a separation from their spouses. Were co-hosts on Good Morning America. Great show, high ratings, online chemistry through the roof. You could see it. Allegedly, they had a romantic relationship, consensual. And it came out a couple weeks ago, about a week or two ago, week and a half ago. And then recently, ABC, and I have a couple articles that I'll read later. ABC pulled them off of GMA, and now they shelved. Tanya and myself will, just give our opinion about that workplace romance, what goes on, consensual. Are we going too far? Is it much to do about nothing? Because in this society, these are two consenting adults. Like, what the problem is? A lot of people don't see a problem with it. A lot of people may think that it's okay, or some people may think like, no, you can't do that. You can't have a romantic relationship with your coworker. And this is very, very common in society where workplace relationships happen. A lot of time HR will tell you if it happens, let us know that y'all in a relationship so we could protect y'all if things get bad, get testy, or have you, whatever. But from what we know, this did not happen. I know another report came out that he was dealing with someone else in the office at one time. I think that was a little interesting as part of a smear campaign, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to discuss workplace romance. What's up,
Mhm.
Tanya? What's going on? What's your thoughts? Much to do about nothing. I mean, I sent you a few articles. I know you was like, this ain't even that serious. These people grown.
When I first heard the story, I guess I want to say a week and a half ago, these people are truly grown. Why are we discussing this? Why are their jobs on the line? Why? Ugh, is there a clause in the contract of their contract telling them you're not allowed to communicate intimately or what why is it that this is a topic? That's why do we have to even know their personal business if they're doing their job? Why?
Hmm.
I want to
I
know.
think I think that speaks to a lot of things. I think a lot of times in this country nowadays, everything is sensationalized, everything is talked about, and I seen they had pictures where they were physically showing each other affection, and I personally think that if you didn't know their personal relationship with their spouses and didn't know they were separated, I think you kind of invaded their private life. I mean, even though nowadays news reporters report the news, but they're not the story. And I think we are going to a point, or we've been into a point, where people who report the news have become the story.
Yes.
Once it came out that they were in a romantic relationship, I saw some of the tape broadcast the next day, and they joked about it. The chemistry was still awesome. It wasn't them trying to hide. They didn't discuss it. They didn't placate. And it was good. The weekend went on because this happened on Friday. The weekend went on, and then Monday we found out that ABC decided to pull them,
Yeah.
which is weird. I mean, I think a lot of times these companies, what they do is they check as we would say, they check the temperature of the room to see how everybody. Okay, let's see how the public is going to react to this.
hmm
9 out of 10, if you've worked in America and you're of age, you've seen it. You may have even done it. Like, I don't understand the issue of if two people find each other attractive and they really dig each other, why do we put these type of restraints on them?
Yes. I mean, I do not intend to offend in any way, but there's so many things in this world today that is to be accepted. And for that purpose alone, my life, my business. You got your own personal space. You got your own personal business. You got your public life. Those things are separate. You got your work life. And in the meantime, if you didn't stipulate to me, oh, by the way, you're not allowed to be attracted to your coworker. You're not allowed to, you know how many women are now assistant COOs and CEOs, and because eventually they formed a relationship with another coworker. Even though this couple they're both married to other people, to my understanding, they're separated. And I'm gonna be quite frank, even if they're not separated, we don't know what's happening in their homes. And frankly, it's none of my business that they're sleeping together. I mean, or being intimate in any form, fashion, or way. That's for them to handle. This is not the presidency. This is not, according to Disney.
I mean, Tanya, I know it may sound harsh when I say or hilarious, but we need to understand that even the seat of the presidency, you had a presidency getting oral sex in the Oval Office.
Okay, and that's true.
So, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but nothing should surprise us. Nothing should surprise us if it's consensual. You have, I know that it may seem a little insensitive because we always assume the negative. Oh, it's going to end up messy, or it's going to end up this way. And sometimes, like you said, it don't end up that way. Some people actually fall in love with their coworkers and have a beautiful family, and it just happened, and his career gets better, her career gets better. I mean, are we going too far?
And from what I saw, I mean, outside of whoever decided to tell on them, outside of that chemistry was bringing good ratings, and they were getting along very well. And if it wasn't broke, what are you trying to fix? I mean, mind your business. I mean, as long as their professionalism is still there, as long as they're coming to work and doing what they're supposed to do, then it should not affect Disney World or Disneyland and things of that nature. I mean, Disneyland said something pertaining to morals and a higher standard of some sort. Why? Because you encourage families to come to Disneyland, husband and wife and children. Do you know a family is not just a husband and a wife with children? It could be 2 men with 2 children. So when do you guys get to stipulate what is moral?
It's kind of hypocritical.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Disney has been so, quote unquote, on the forefront of inclusivity, of always saying, gender free. We're with same sex marriage.
Yeah.
So when you look at the quote unquote nuclear relationship, man and woman,
yeah.
And now y'all want to put this moral standard on them that probably wasn't in their contracts, and you shelved them. It kind of make people look at Disney like, hold up, you encourage all this other stuff, but you don't encourage something that happens naturally, and it
Naturally,
happened in
every
those
day since the beginning of time. People have worked through these things. Sometimes it turns out good, sometimes it turns out bad. But I don't think Disney or the big corporate city out there should be shelving them because they become attracted to one another and they pursue a relationship. I don't think it's fair. I think you're biased. On one hand, you can do this, and on the other hand, yeah, no, you can't do that, or I'm going to take all your coins back.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
no.
So I'm gonna read the article from the Guardian in reference to what they said. Uh, it said, hold on. ABC News pulls host TJ Holmes and Amy Robach off air after romance revealed. U.S. network says the anchors, who are married to other people, were temporarily pulled from GMA's 3 as the romance is an internal and external distraction. Ain't nobody distracted. Okay.
Nobody.
2 TV anchors working for ABC News in the U.S. have been pulled from the air after their workplace romance came to light amid a storm of public gossip and tabloid coverage. TJ Holmes and Amy Robach, who have worked as hosts on Good Morning America's spinoff talk show GMA3 since 2020, were revealed to be in a relationship last week after paparazzi photos of the pair were published online. Both Holmes and Robach are married, but after the photos were published, a representative for the pair said they had both separated from their spouses and the relationship only began recently.
There you go.
During an editorial call on Monday, Kim Godwin, the president of ABC News, announced that Holmes and Robach will be temporarily pulled from GMA.
To me, they're the ones instigating and spreading the rumors. And they want some juicy stuff to happen. The media, their bosses, the corporate, wherever they are, those are the ones looking to instigate.
So somebody let the paparazzi know what was going on and drop the dime.
That's right. That's right. Somebody inside where they work at whispered, so, they're going to be there at 10 o'clock. That's all. Somebody just chose to do that. And probably could be anybody. It could be a boss. Could be some old jealous woman who wanted him. Could be a jealous man who wanted her. Who knows? One of their co-workers. But at the same time, no, that's a no-go. You're dead wrong. This should not be on the air. It need to be discussed because people don't necessarily agree with me. People do believe that they should be in trouble and penalized. Yeah.
Do you think that the response of ABC is basically coming on the heels of the Ime Udoka situation? Ime Udoka, who was in a relationship, not married to Nia Long, was the former coach of the Boston Celtics. He had a consensual relationship with what you consider a staffer. They never named her name because allegedly she's a subordinate. And they had a consensual relationship. He's been suspended for a year as the coach. Do you think that ABC's response is a response to we're coming on the heels of that, and like everybody's just so cautious, being moral? Like, I thought it was interesting that they got shelved because this could be career suicide for Amy and TJ.
Yeah, I do think they are coming off of the heels of that. So they figuring, well, this is how the people, they responded to this affair. So we better do something drastic too, or we could be at risk of losing a lot. Personally, though, this doesn't have nothing to do with the B word, black, do it. Because for me, do you put the other ones out there like that?
I mean, you're a mother. You're a woman of a certain age. I'm a father, a man of a certain age. do black men need to move different in the workplace? I know black women move different in the workplace because of certain things. Black women, a lot of black women, from what I hear, feel as though that they got to do things twice as hard as their counterparts when they're working.
For sure. For sure.
Do you think black men definitely because historically, do you think that black men need to move different? Definitely when they're in a relationship, whether it's consensual or when it's consensual, you think they need to move different in the workplace if it's consensual with the opposite race?
With the opposite race, I'm gonna be honest in this area. They probably should, but again, in this day and age, so much is to be demanded of, and people are demanding acceptability, equality in all senses. So why should it matter when it's different races coming together like that? To me, honestly, it shouldn't. Because again, this new world is demanding that we acknowledge and accept a lot of things that 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 100 years ago were not acceptable whatsoever. But today it is all okay. So the difference is we're talking about grown-ups that are consensual. We're not talking about date rapes and drugs included and things of that nature. We're talking two people that look totally sober, enjoying one another. And I don't see the harm in that. Now, again, somebody else I may know or a friend of mine might not agree. No, that's wrong. They should be fired. They should tell me why should they be fired? What did they do that offended the people that's saying it's immoral? What did they do? How did they offend you by being intimate with one another?
I do believe that you have to know the temperature of the room. When you're working, you got to know what to say and what not to say. Nowadays, with this Me Too generation, men really need to honestly protect themselves. Don't put themselves in a situation. Don't make a person feel too comfortable with you and uncomfortable with you. And as a black man, that has always been the talk. I mean, I've got that talk when I was a kid from my elders. Like, look, you're getting older. When you got to deal with the real world, you got to know how to move. At the end of the day, even when going back to interaction with them people getting pulled over, the number one priority was get your ass home. So when you're working and you in corporate America or even anywhere in the workplace, listen, I'm only here to provide for my family. Yeah, you start getting cool with people and the chemistry may happen. I believe that if that happened for me, I believe I probably would let HR know, like, look, this was going on.
This is crazy.
And the reason why, it's sad that we have to move like that, because a lot of us believe in, why are we telling people our business? It is what it is. We grown, we're of age people.
It appears that black people are the only ones who owe an explanation for everything they think, say, or do. That's wrong. I understand totally what you're saying. Totally, I understand it. And we should move in certain ways. But that's the same as all the other topics we had. Every topic we've had, did a person not have a right to wear their gold jewelry? Did a person not have a right to post a picture of a title of a show? What are you talking about? So we still can't say or do or anything. This is what it boils down to then? That's nonsense. Because if it were another white person instead of a black and a white person, would this be a juicy topic to instigate trouble?
Unfortunately, we always could say what you just said. If it would have, and sometimes we can't show examples. However, it is example. On that show, Morning Joe, the two people had a romance. People knew about it. Everybody said it was okay, consensual. Nobody talked about it. They're still on there.
That's right.
It was no
That's-
big deal. So
So
what makes this a big deal? I mean,
I
we're of people that grew up with other races. We work with other races. We intermingle with other races. At the end of the day, a lot of us as black people, black Americans, we try to turn a blind eye on what be going on, but sometimes the reality is the reality. What else could this be more but race?
that's all.
Because that's the only thing different
That's what it
in
boils
this
down
whole
to.
situation.
Exactly. So every other race can say and do what they are feeling because they're all closer in complexion than we are. And that's basically what I believe the situation is. Even though he does, is his eyes green? So,
Yeah, I
know,
mean, and you know, and Ty, you know from back in the day, TJ Holmes got the complexion for the move. He as we would say, he one of them light skinned dudes.
that's
So
right. He would be in the house.
yeah, so he would be a pretty boy. He would be of the, as we would say, of the pretty boy ilk. But look, I got another article from his ex coworker and friend Don Lemon, and I want to
Okay.
read this to you. According to Yahoo News, Don Lemon hopes TJ Holmes and Amy Robach return to TMA3 after suspension over affair, which is crazy because what are they suspended for? Don Lemon hopes to see his former colleague TJ Holmes back on the air soon. The CNN host weighed in on Holmes being suspended by ABC News in the wake of his relationship with GMA3 co-host Amy Robach being exposed in the tabloids. Holmes and Robach have both been separated from their spouses since August, but it's unclear when their relationship turned romantic. I'll say this. I know TJ. I work with TJ at CNN, so I have nothing but love for him, and I hope that he's okay. Lemon told ET. On Tuesday, I don't know about their situation. I'm not privy enough, but I just like to offer people love and support, and I hope they're okay and hope that they continue to prosper. That was short, sweet, to the point.
Yes.
I thought it was
Yes.
interesting. I thought it was interesting that Don Lemon decided to weigh in.
Sounds very supportive of the situation.
Yeah, I guess he had no choice. I mean, because it's so common. It's not like it's
Very.
anything new or we didn't hear. So I think that we need to really assess as a nation, right, wrong, and indifferent. This is a nation that's what I would say is fluid. And what I mean by saying that is the rules and laws of this nation is as long as you ain't hurting yourself and hurting nobody else and
That's the rules and laws.
infringing on their rights,
That's right.
do as you please.
That's right. That was
Do as you
perfectly
please.
said. That is the truth. That's
Yeah.
what keeps you. That's what keeps you a part of society. Long as you do not offend others and do as they do, you good. And frankly, they doing as others do. This situation is extremely common. Married or separated or divorced or in a engaged situation, I don't engagement ship, whatever. The point being is it's so common that this is ridiculous that they're putting them people out there on this totem. It's too much. It's too much. I think somebody's just looking for a reason, and in the background we don't know. Again, somebody's upset that's in the office, and they want the public to be the judge, and they want the public to be upset.
Somebody ain't getting some good loving from one of them, or one of them they done dealt with somebody else, and they like, you know what, I gotta expose you. But Tanya, I wanted to reiterate that I don't watch that show a lot.
Neither do I.
Because of the time, and I know that you're out during that time as well.
Yeah.
But I can't sit back and emphasize that ABC might have jumped the gun.
Yes.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, for any type of business, it's about the bottom line, money, ratings. these two have high ratings. Their
Yeah.
chemistry, their online chemistry is awesome at
Yeah.
the end of the day, and it's very, very, very good. So going forward, we'll see what's going on and what's going to happen. You got any final thoughts?
I was trying to think of the man name on one of the articles that we had today for this. And he was speaking in reference to Disney, but he said, in this day and age, it doesn't even matter. He agreed that it shouldn't have happened to some degree. That you could tell that's what he was saying. But at the same time, they could start their own podcast. They could start their own. I mean, that's the way of the world now. So you drop me. It's just like Kanye West. So you drop me. Now I'll start my own. I mean, life will go on. So hopefully they strong enough and they deal with their situation and move on. Move forward or come to some agreement and go back to doing what you was doing very well together, and to hell with everybody else in your personal happiness, because that's your life. That's the way I feel.
With that, this concludes another great episode of Trending Topics. Until next week, hopefully Faith will join us.
Yes.
Until next week, we see you guys then. And as they say, live and let live.
Yes.
Hi guys, my favorite too, as we discussed, trending topics, such as America and urban culture.